Sponsored by Wing Technologies. Introducing the Orion F-16EX HOTAS. Also available as separate joystick and throttle sets, or the stick and throttle grip components.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. It's late January 2022 and we have a new bombing method in the F-16C Viper, DTOS or dive toss. Dive toss was developed as a technique where the attacking aircraft would dive at a target, use the HUD to identify and designate the target, and then you could drop a bomb on that target with CCIP or CCRP. Modern technology came in one step further when we got the T-pod, and that meant we could designate through the HUD originally with the dive toss, then use the T-pod to make sure that the designation was perfectly accurate, and then you could drop the bomb again. But because we've got a T-pod, we can now drop a laser guided bomb as well. And then the next layer of technology came, the helmet mounted display, which means that we can still do the dive toss, but we don't even really have to be diving at the target. We could, for instance, designate a target off bore here with our helmet mounted display, then roll in. We're going to show two methods. One, using dive toss to designate through the HUD, then shore up the designation with the T-pod and drop a laser guided bomb on a moving target, if I get it right. Then we're going to redo it. Instead of the HUD, we're going to use the helmet mounted display off bore to designate the target, shore it up with the T-pod, and then drop a laser guided bomb on another moving target. Controls. Drop the bomb, weapon release. To fire the laser, we're going to press and hold the trigger. To change SOI between the HUD and the T-pod, DMS up, DMS down to designate a target, TMS up to undesignated target, TMS down. And to transfer SOI from the HUD to the helmet mounted display, TMS up long. That means push it, hold it for over half a second, and then release. We'll need our RDR cursor up, down, left and right, or the equivalent axes to slew our T-pod or our designation around, as we'll show you. So, air to ground mode first of all, once master arm is of course on. We're going to select our method of bombing here, CCIP, CCRP, DTOS, Edo and man. So we can either click on DTOS there, or to switch through those types of bombing, don't forget you can also press nose wheel steering missile step. I've just learnt that myself. Next we're going to do the dive. We know there are moving targets somewhere on that base. Let's dive on it. That should do. And I'm going to pause it here just to keep it super simple. Look what happens when we choose our DTOS mode. We get a designating square around our velocity vector, and let's just prove that to you again. Let's remove it, put it CCRP, no designating square, DTOS, designation square. With our designation square here, we need to ensure that our HUD is SOI. We know it's SOI because it'll have the asterisk there, so it currently is SOI. Let's just pretend it wasn't. It now is not. All you got to do is press DMS up and it's SOI. Now we can use our RDR cursor up, down, left and right, or axis, to move the designation box around. And I don't know if you can see, but there are some small moving aeroplanes there. I'm going to move it to one of those guys there, and I'm going to press TMS up short. What that's done, as space stabilized a SPI onto that point there. You can see our aiming symbology is showing now. Next we're going to switch to our T-pod, and we can see that that has automatically slewed to that SPI. Now we want to make our T-pod SOI, so DMS down. It's now SOI because it's got the box around it. Now use our RDR cursor up, down, left and right to move around. So this is where we're shoring up the speed to get it extra accurate. We're going to go narrow field of view to get that guy there. We're going to press TMS up once more to create a point track. We now have a moving point track. And that is essentially the DTOS bit done. We're now just going to go in for a regular CCRP bombing. So I'm going to unpause now. It's automatically got our kind of CCRP style of bombing selected now. Go in, follow the symbology, wait for the timing cue to drop. There it goes. Push and hold weapon release. Bomb away, level the aircraft. I'm going to go and follow the bomb, which I wouldn't recommend doing normally, but why not? I'm going to pull the trigger, laser the weapon, laser the T-pod, sorry. The weapon will follow the laser and we'll hit the moving target, hopefully. Which one did I aim for? That one there. Release the trigger. Boom, dead. Right, now we're going to reset and do the same thing without the pausing, showing how we can do it in one smooth motion with the helmet mounted display. Let's get everything set up again. Laser on, check. Air to ground on, check. DTOS on, check. T-pod on, check. That's it. Oh, helmet mounted display would help. Helmet mounted display on, check. Right, make sure our HUD is SOI. We can see it is because the asterisk is in. Now move the helmet mounted display outside of the HUD and TMS up long. So press and release. You can see now we've got our designation box on the cross of the HMD. Pause. I'm going to zoom in. Notice I'm offset from the target in this case. Find the target. There he is. Space stabilizer speed with TMS forward. There, got him. Now we're going to shift over to the T-pod. So DMS down. Got him there. Let's zoom in a little bit there. RDR cursor up, down, left and right. Let's TMS up to create a point track. And we're in exactly the same scenario as last time. We're going to follow the ASL of the azimuth steering line. We're going to wait for the timing cue to drop, which is dropping now already because I was very close in this case. I'm going to press and hold. Weapon release. A little bit slow. Bomb should go. Level her out. Follow the bomb. And lays. Hopefully we'll get a capture. There we've got a capture. Should be a hit. Boom! Let go. Aha, one dead Herc. So, that's just an example of how we do exactly the same thing in first case scenario with the helmet mounted display. In summary, we would say that the ideal circumstances for the two modes were this. If you were entering an AO for the first time and diving down on it, or, of course, if you don't have a helmet mounted display on, that is when you would best use the HUD. Once you're already established over a target and you were, say, orbiting a target, that would be the superior time to use the helmet mounted display method because obviously you're going to be looking out the side of the canopy at that point. Or you could combine the two, the HUD mode and then into HMD mode. Anything to add, Simba?
Get some good practice in it, and then when you get the technique down, you'll be able to designate targets in a valley rather quick and make your bombing approaches.
Roger, I hope that was useful and see you later.